G'day all, it's Colin from PCTLC and thanks for joining me. So today I thought I would install ArcolinuxD in a Virtualbox. So let's have a look and let's get started with this. First of all, we need to open our Virtualbox. Actually, I think it's open. So I've created a Virtualbox disk here, about 20 gig. Probably doesn't need to be that big, but I just thought I'd make sure. And enable 3D, video memories all the way up, storage, and I've chosen my disk. Just go choose disk or wherever you keep your disk. I don't touch audio. I've made network bridged adapter and I haven't hooked up a USB or shared folders. This will be just a demonstration on how I install my ArcolinuxD Budgie Desktop. So let's get started. So boot Arcolinux. And we have a full screen, which is good to see, without having to mess around with the guest editions. But we need to do that after we install anyway, if you want everything available. So this is just your typical installer, graphical installer. So let's go next. Australia Perth, yep. English default, yep. And I'm just going to do an erase disk and fill in the necessary details. And let's use the same password and click next, and let's install. Okay, so that's all done. Let's restart now. So we'll eject that, force unmount. Looks like something went a bit wrong closing down there, so file, close and power off the machine. Okay, so we'll just make sure that our disk is ejected, storage, and it's empty as you can see. Okay, and let's start ArcolinuxD. ArcolinuxD. So you can see it's asking for my login, so my username, Colin, and password. And we are logged into ArcolinuxD. Now, once you install the graphical, this is what you're presented with, is just a terminal to start installing. So what we need to look at here is we need to go to the ArcolinuxD Information Center that Eric Dubois has laid out very nicely. So what we need to do is go to Home and click on ArcolinuxD. Now what we need to do here is look for that's phase 2. Normally we'd start here, but I'm up to phase 3, which is installing your own desktop, of course, and looking at Budgie. So phase 3, Budgie, and go to installation of ArcolinuxD Budgie. Okay, so installing ArcolinuxD, installation of ArcolinuxD Budgie. So let's go down. So the first thing we need to do is type mirror, and this will get the best mirrors that's close to you. So we'll go into ArcolinuxD and type mirror and put in our password. Now that'll be looking for the best mirrors. So while it's doing that, we'll go back to the website. Now what he's done here is we need to get updates, which is our next command, is updates. So instead of typing sudo pacman -S YYU, I think it is, or YU, he's made an alias, and you can make an alias in your, I think it's the bashrc script, I think it is, and you can make an alias for any command and then give it a name, which is what he's done here. So update just runs the Arch updates. So that's still going, and there we go, that's finished. So what we need to do next is type update. And we will let that update. Proceed with installation, yes. Enter. Okay, so that has finished updating, and we need to do pksyua, which updates the ArcolinuxD, the AUR. Sorry, the AUR, that updates pksyua. So while that's updating, we'll scroll down a bit more. Now what we've got to do is git clone the ArcolinuxD Budgie info. So we'll do that next. So that's finished updating the AUR. So our next point of call is the git clone. So we need to do a git clone https. Oh, have I got a letter there? Oh, I must have done something there. Try that again. Let's have a look. github.com. /ArcolinuxD. /arco-budgie. Enter that. Okay, so that has pulled down the ArcolinuxD folder from GitHub. So just to show you how that works, if we go to our down, it should be our home folder, isn't it? Sorry, I'm looking in the wrong one. What am I doing? Oh no, I can't show you. So what it does is it would have downloaded a folder in your home folder called arco-budgie, and we're going to change directories into that folder. So that's what we're going to do. So here it says change directory arco-budgie. So let's do that. And if we hit the tab key, it should find it because it'll be the only thing there, and hit enter. Now we're in the arco-budgie folder, so we're looking in that folder. So if we go ls for list, and you'll see all the scripts that need to be run there. So first of all, what we're going to do is / and 000, hit the tab key and run that script. And that first script is for using all cores. Then we go / 100, hit the tab key again, press enter. So this one is a very long one. and so is the 200 and the 300. So I'm going to pause this one. We're after a password. Okay, that was a password. Now we're done. So now if we're not sure which script we run, because it can be a while in between scripts, just arrow up and you'll see that that was the last command that you run. So it was 100, so ls. So we need to do a 110, so ./110, tab key and enter. That's that one done. List again, so that was the 110. We need to do 120, ./120, tab key, enter. That's done as well, so that was 120. List again, and 130, ./130, tab key, enter. Okay, that was 130. 140, that's our Samba. So what is your login? It will be used to add this user to SMB. So the login is your username, and give that a password. It's not the password for your system, it's a password for Samba. So I'm just going to put a very quick password in here for now. I'm not going to use that anyway, it's just a demonstration install. So that was 140, and the last one in the 100 range is the 150. Okay, so now let's go back to our list. Now let's have a look here. This is where it gets interesting. So there's software in the ArcolinuxD repo under the 200, and there's the AUR 300. So let's have a look at the 200 first. So what we're going to do is sudo nano 200, hit the tab key, and that'll open up in a text editor called Nano, which most people are probably familiar with. Now what we're going to do here is have a look at what we're installing here. So let's go back up. Okay. So this is installing Catfish, C-Matrix, Calculator. Now I can tell you now I don't want Catfish in Budgie, so we'll put a hashtag there because I don't want that installed. C-Matrix, I'm not really sure what that is. I won't install that either. Calculator, we can probably use GNOME Screenshot. Plank, maybe. Redshift, yes. XFburn is a XFCE desktop environment burner. I don't want that for Budgie. Variety, I might leave it in there. For this one, yeah, I'll leave it in. Now I don't know what needed is. That's already commented out anyway. So let's go down further. Atom, well, I don't use Atom. Geany, I think it's Geany. I don't use that either. And Meld, I don't really use that either. I think it's a text editor, I think. They're just creating the list of categories there. So Darktable I don't use. Was that already commented out? I'm struggling to see here. I think it's already commented out. Okay. And GIMP I will leave in. GNOME font fill will leave. GPick, Inkscape. I don't really use Inkscape. Pinter is already commented out. Ristretto, I don't mind that. Chromium, FileZilla I won't use. Firefox I will. Transmission, CLI and GTK, leave them both in. Clementine, that's uncomment that because we want to install Clementine, so we'll do that. Praga, I can't remember what that is. Oh, that's a music player, so I don't want that one. Clementine will do, so yep, we'll take out Praga and put in Clementine. Simple screen recorder, yep. VLC, yep. Events, yep, which is a PDF reader, I believe. LibreOffice Fresh. Now, Evolution, I won't install that because I don't want that. So I've commented that out. LibreOffice Fresh. Normally, I would install that, but for this, For this video, I'm not going to do that. Take too long. Let's have a look. I think we could probably... Yeah, I'm just looking for a better view. It's hard to say. Deconf editor. I think all those things we need to keep in. Where are we? Gparted, system monitor, gnome tweet tool, GRSync, hard info, htop, nettools, all those look good. Terminator, that's not getting installed anyway, and I don't use that. Termite, I don't use Termite. Now, Thunar, I don't need Thunar in here. That's an XFC file browser. So we probably don't need the Thunar plugin either. Tumblr, comment that out as well. Well, actually, no, we'll leave that in. I think Tumblr's got something to do with pictures, I believe. Okay, so that looks to be it. Yep. So what we do there is Control O and then enter to write the lines. So we wrote 156 lines and Control X to escape. And we're back out of there. We list that out again and we run /200 tab key and enter. And now it's been a while, so we'll need to put our password back in. That should install and not install the things that we selected. So putting a hashtag in front of things will make sure it doesn't get installed because it won't be read. If there's no hashtag, it will be read. So I'm going to pause that for a while and come back when that's done. Okay, so that's done. So let's list out that again. And we're going to have a look at, we'll do the same thing again, but sudo nano 300 this time, which is the next one on the list. And we're going to have a look at what's installing under this one here. Caffeine, let's uncomment that so we can install that. Conky, do we want Conky? I don't really use a conky, so I'm not going to install one. Retro terminal, no. Discord I do use, but not on this occasion. Mint stick, I use Etcher, although I'll leave Mint stick in there because that is quite a good USB writer. Sublime Text, I've never used that, so I don't want it. And we have Dropbox I don't use. I tend to go over some of these, so I tend to miss some. Skype for Linux, Vivaldi, don't need that for now. Gradio I don't want. Peak I don't want. Radio Tray I don't need. Spotify I don't really need. Icon themes, we'll take those. Paper icon, papyrus icon, it's fine. Sardi and all that, that's all good stuff. Team Viewer, they're not getting installed anyway. And that's it. That looks to be it. So just double check I haven't missed any there. Thought there was a few terminals in here. You can easily take them out later, but it's easier to do it now in this part here, so you don't have to worry about it later on. And Dropbox, I don't want Dropbox. InSync, Skype for Linux, that's not getting installed. Okay, so I think that'll do, and if I've missed any we can uninstall them later. So Control O, enter, and Control X. So it says we wrote 105 lines. Control X to exit. Go back to the list, and it will be 300 that we're running, I'm pretty sure. Tab that, and away we go. So I'll pause that until it's done. So occasionally you will get asked to put in your password. Another password we need to put in this process, under 300. Another password to put in under 300. We do get asked if we want to proceed with installation here. So yes for that. Okay, so that is that done. So that the last one that we did was the 300. I can tell you that the bulk of that took a while, and what took the longest was the icon. So I suggest that if you're going to install Ubuntu Budgie, just install the icons you want and comment out the other ones, because that did take quite a while. Just a bit of advice there, I suppose. So we're going to run 400, and we do need to run all these scripts. It's just adding in some repositories, I believe. My last one, yep, 500. Then we've got 600. and 600 is software from ArcolinuxD repo. I believe the next one is 700. Installing some fonts. So 700 was fonts. 710 is fonts for Conky. I don't think they're needed, but I'll just install it anyway. And then 800 is the auto login. It's best that you run that as well, because just in case there's issues logging in. Login name. 900. And I think the last one was 910. Which is the Cursor Breeze Snow mouse cursor fix for that. And there's a microcode error for the 900 script. So that's all the scripts run. So all we need to do now is sudo reboot. Enter. And we have just booted into ArcolinuxD Budgie Desktop. Now this may be on Virtualbox, but I have done this 3 times now on real hardware, and every time it worked well. So there was nothing different installing to real hardware as opposed to installing on Virtualbox. So that all worked well. There's my caffeine indicator there. Icon's a bit different there. Let's have a look at the icons. Let's first of all change the panel to the bottom, prefer it down there. And then we'll have a look at our style and icons. I prefer Papyrus. Widgets, we've got a lot of arcs. Sometimes I do install adapter and Breeze Snow for the mouse cursor there. We've got no right click on the Budgie Desktop in Arch Linux, and we don't have that on real hardware either, so that's consistent. Now whether Budgie took that away or not, and when I click away, the Raven menu doesn't close either. That's consistent with real hardware as well. So there's that, and the right click. Now I thought Budgie had right click, but that might be just in Solus. So I know Solus has right click on the desktop. And we'll just quickly run through everything here. So variety, yeah. Vim, I didn't see that in there, so I would have taken that out probably. Ristretto, Simple Scan, I kept all those in, yep. Chromium, Firefox, yep. InSync, I thought I took that out, maybe I didn't. So there's no LibreOffice, which is right. Clementine, yes, and the Praga's not there, so that's the scripts have worked well. It's installed and not installed everything I wanted. Now I didn't see these terminals anywhere. I don't use these terminals. I know that these two are normally in other operating systems anyway, but I probably would have deleted these ones. Thunar File Manager, I thought I got rid of that, but and Termite and Terminal, I'm not sure. I thought I got rid of those. Maybe I didn't do it properly. Can certainly watch the video back anyway. So there you have your let's go to all. There you have your ArcolinuxD Budgie Desktop. Let's see if that pinned panel, yep. and that's the Arco Budgie folder we were working from. So there's all your scripts there, and I believe there's probably more scripts in here as well to run with. If we just go into preferences and sort folders before files. I don't know why that's not a default really, but then again, maybe people prefer to work that way, I'm not sure. So you got personal here. So there's a few other scripts you can run here. I haven't really looked into those too much. So there's other things you can do, but the ones we were working with are these ones. Here. They're all the ones we were working with to install up to 9.10. And there's others that you can definitely have a look at and see whether they suit you. There's remove known backgrounds, ZSH software themes, Firefox fix unreadable text for dark themes. So if you run that script, that'll sort that out. Install personal bookmarks. I don't know what that's all about. So you probably have to run that. You can probably change directory to here in the terminal and run that script like you did with the /200 install personal bookmarks, blah, blah, blah. So you can do that. So that all seems to be working well. The only issues that I've had is the Budgie applets. Now, if we have a quick look in add remove, and we look for Budgie, just do a search for Budgie Desktop. So there's let's have a look. Preferences, put in our password, and turn on the AUR. Okay, and close that. I don't know whether we need to close to refresh that, I'm not sure. And let's do a search for Budgie again. There's probably a few things, there's nothing there, AUR. So you got the Budgie extras in the AUR, the Budgie calendar applet. So let's do that. Budgie extras, Budgie screenshot applet. Now I don't know if the extras in Git is better than the actual extras here, I'm not sure. What else we got? SN tray, wallpaper downloader. Budgie brightness, I'm not on a laptop so I probably don't need that. Budgie haste applet, Budgie weather applet, and Budgie pixel saver. So you have quite a few Budgie stuff there. Caffeine applet, although it's in there, we're probably better off to install it again. Advanced brightness, I probably don't need that. So let's install all of that and see how we go. Apply that and commit. And commit that. Password. And I shall pause the video and come back when that's done. So I've had an error come up here that there was a failure downloading the Budgie haste applet. So that's aborting. So hopefully it will abort. So I've had to close the package manager. So we're going to have another look at that. The haste applet. So the others, looks like some of them installed. So extras installed. So I don't know if the extras Git might be better, I'm not sure. So the Budgie weather applet. Pixel Saver, Caffeine applet. The Haste applet didn't work, so I won't bother with that one for now. Budgie Vala panel app menu, not quite sure about that one. Mail nag, I'm not quite sure about that one either. So let's go with those. Failed to commit transaction. Close that. Okay, so there's a problem there as well. So let's have a look at the current, let's just full screen that. So let's see what applets did install. So it didn't install the Clockworks. So that's interesting. Might just try uninstall the Budgie extras there. Okay, and we'll try the Budgie extras from Git, see if that's any better. Because I haven't tried that one before, so I just think it might be worthwhile giving that a try. So the transaction was successful, but probably the reason why the other ones weren't shown up is because I didn't log out and log back in. That's probably another reason. So that's my error there. So let's have a quick look anyway and see what's there. Let's just see if there's any extras in there now. So we've got Clockworks now. Let's try adding that and see if it works. So this is what was happening in real hardware anyway. Clockworks wasn't working. So what I might even do is actually shut down and actually do a restart. Just refresh the whole desktop. Have a quick look. Yeah, it's still definitely not working. So anyway, that's ArcolinuxD Budgie Desktop install. But you can see the general idea on how to install a desktop using the scripts. And it's the same procedure. Just follow the same procedure, but if you want a different desktop, it's pretty much all the same. You'll be just working with, instead of working with this folder here, which is the Arco Budgie, it might be Arco Cinnamon or whatever desktop you're trying to install. Scripts are probably the same. I haven't tried any other desktop yet, but that's they'll all be very similar anyway. So I'm just having a few issues with some of the applets in Budgie here on an Arch-based system here. So Eric did say that the Budgie desktop is fairly new, so there are some issues, so he's aware of them. So that's probably just going to take a little while for things to catch up with the Budgie desktop. Give it a try, see how you go, and if you want to in here, this could eventually lead you to trying the ArcolinuxB, I think it is, which is, I think, the next phase, which is the Archway. So, and you got the BIOS and UEFI, so I haven't managed to do an Archway yet, so but that's a very good way of installing an Arch-based, a direct Arch-based system anyway. So I hope you found this informative and interesting, and thanks for watching.